Hello Golden State Warriors fans, we are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
I can catch him. Warriors draft pick Alex Chewy sets his sights on Klay Thompson. Golden State Warriors second-round draft pick Alex Chewy isn't just entering the NBA, he's arriving with bold ambitions. Finding impact players late in the NBA draft is no easy task, but the Warriors have built a reputation for uncovering hidden gems. General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. recently praised prospects like Quentin Post and Trace Jackson-Davis, highlighting the team's confidence in their scouting. In this year's second round, after trading the 41st pick to the Phoenix Suns, Golden State selected Alex Chewy at No. 51 and Will Richard with the final pick at No. 59. Chewy, who previously played for the Sydney Kings in Australia, is only 21 but already thinking big. Ahead of the draft, he spent time in the US preparing, training, competing at the NBA Combine, and even crossing paths with Warriors legend Klay Thompson, now with the Dallas Mavericks. And it left an impression. In an interview with ESPN before the draft, Chewy didn't hold back. "It was really cool seeing Klay Thompson walk into the gym," he said. "It kinda gave me a checkpoint, just to see where I'm at. There are things he does better, sure, but I also see areas where I can definitely catch up to him." That's a bold claim, considering Chewy grew up idolizing Thompson. "I loved the way he could score off the dribble, but even more, how deadly he is off the ball. That's a part of my game I know will be essential when I make it to the league." Grounded and ready to grow. Chewy knows the road ahead won't be easy. He's aware that as a rookie, he won't be the focal point of the offense, and that's okay. "I probably won't have the ball in my hands a lot to create plays," he admitted. "Every team has its stars. For me, it's about fitting in, making an impact in the minutes I get, and being as efficient as possible." That mindset will serve him well on a roster that still features Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and newly acquired Jimmy Butler. For now, Chewy's job is to earn their trust, prove he belongs, and chip away at the massive gap between promise and proven greatness. If he can bring the same focus and fire that defined Klay Thompson's rise, he might just get there. A smart strategic move by the Warriors. The Warriors made a calculated move in the draft by trading down from the 41st pick, ultimately selecting Alex Chewy at No. 51 and Will Richard at No. 59. According to team executives, the decision was based on a belief that the remaining talent pool didn't vary much in that range, allowing them to add two promising prospects instead of one. Chewy, in particular, fits a mold that the Warriors value, a high IQ wing player with strong defensive instincts and untapped offensive potential. He was praised by the front office for his versatility, professionalism, and readiness to develop within the team system. Chewy's strengths and fit with Golden State. Chewy's profile as a player is built around his defensive versatility. Coaches and scouts highlight his ability to defend multiple positions, stay locked in during rotations, and close out hard without overcommitting. He also shows poise under pressure and has solid fundamentals, especially when navigating off-ball screens. On offense, while he's not yet a high-volume scorer, he's shown promise in transition and catch-and-shoot situations. His movement without the ball mirrors the style that made Klay Thompson so effective, and it's clear that Chewy models parts of his game after the Warriors veteran. His playmaking instincts and willingness to do the little things, like setting screens, making the extra pass, and keeping the ball moving, could make him a valuable piece within the Warriors' ball-sharing offense. Early expectations and development path. No one within the organization expects Chewy to step in and make an immediate impact. The Warriors view him as a developmental player, likely to split time between the main roster and their G League affiliate during his rookie season. The team's depth, with stars like Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and the recently acquired Jimmy Butler, means Chewy will need to earn his minutes through effort and efficiency. However, that suits Chewy just fine. He has a clear understanding of his role and what's expected of him at this stage. He's focused on improving his shooting consistency, physical strength, and adapting to the speed of the NBA game. Reactions and broader impact. Chewy's selection has generated excitement back home in Australia, where fans are eager to see another homegrown talent make his mark in the NBA. He's the latest in a growing wave of Australian players joining the league, and his path, from the NBL to the NBA, continues to highlight the quality of international development programs. In NBA circles, Chewy is being seen as a high-floor, high-IQ player. Some scouts believe he could eventually grow into a reliable rotation wing, similar to the archetype of players who do the dirty work, defend at a high level, and knock down open threes. Looking ahead, Chewy's first major test will come in the NBA Summer League, where he'll have a chance to showcase his skills against other young talents. Coaches will be watching his decision-making, defensive effort, and ability to contribute without dominating the ball. As the regular season approaches, his focus will shift to earning the trust of the coaching staff and veterans. If he continues to approach the game with humility, discipline, and ambition, much like the Warriors legends he grew up admiring, he could eventually carve out a lasting role in the NBA. While his journey is just beginning, Alex Chewy's mindset, skill set, and drive are already turning heads. And in Golden State, that's exactly the kind of foundation that builds champions. Warriors quietly make series of roster moves immediately after 2025 NBA Draft. Golden State quietly added 2 elite shooters and reshaped the back end of the roster in just 12 hours. While all eyes were on the 2025 NBA Draft Thursday night, the Golden State Warriors were busy working behind the scenes, not just selecting prospects, but subtly reshaping the depth of their roster. After multiple trades, the Warriors ended up with the 52nd and 56th picks, using them to select Australian forward Alex Chewy and Florida's national champion wing Will Richard. But that was just the beginning of a quietly productive night. Golden State signs 2 sharpshooting undrafted wings. In the hours following the draft, Golden State moved swiftly to sign Chance McMillian and LJ Cryer to Exhibit 10 contracts, giving both undrafted guards the opportunity to prove themselves in Summer League and potentially earn training camp invites or even two-way deals. McMillian, a 6 feet 2 inches combo guard, brings 5 years of college experience from Grand Canyon and Texas Tech. In his final season with the Red Raiders, he averaged 14.2 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.8 assists per game. But what really stands out is his shooting efficiency, 52.3% from the field and 43.3% from 3 on more than 5 attempts per game. Cryer, another experienced backcourt scorer, spent 3 seasons at Baylor before transferring to Houston. While he shot a modest 41.1% overall last season, he lit it up from deep, hitting 42.4% of his threes on over 7 attempts per game. Both players are known for their long-range shooting prowess. Over their college careers, McMillian hit 40.8% from deep, while Cryer finished at 41.3%. For a team like Golden State, which thrives on floor spacing and off-ball movement, these profiles are no coincidence. An interesting twist after trading away one of the draft's best shooters. The timing of these signings becomes especially noteworthy when you consider a head-scratching move the Warriors made just hours earlier. Golden State began the night with the 41st pick, but dealt it to the Phoenix Suns, dropping to no. 52 and no. 59. As part of that deal, they drafted Kobe Brea, a 6 feet 6 inches sniper out of Kentucky, on behalf of Phoenix. Brea was widely considered one of the best pure shooters in the draft, coming off a season where he hit 43.5% from 3, and an eye-popping 49.8% from deep the year before at Dayton. So why give up such an elite shooter, only to turn around and sign 2 more? Clearly, the Warriors are placing big bets on fit, development potential, and system adaptability. While Brea may have had the resume, Golden State seems to believe that Chewy, Richard, McMillian, and Cryer bring a more rounded or coachable upside to thrive in their motion-heavy system. What comes next? Summer League spotlight and roster implications. These quiet moves set the stage for a highly competitive Summer League. With open roster spots and two-way contracts potentially up for grabs, the pressure will be on McMillian and Cryer to translate their shooting touch and composure to the next level. Meanwhile, Chewy and Richard, both intriguing two-way wings, will be closely watched as Golden State continues to evaluate their developmental path. In the bigger picture, these signings also reflect the front office's renewed emphasis on low-cost, high-upside depth. With veterans like Steph Curry and Draymond Green still anchoring the team, the Warriors are clearly trying to blend championship experience with hungry, cost-effective young talent. It's a balancing act, and moves like these are often overlooked, but they could end up shaping the back end of the roster in surprisingly meaningful ways. Why these moves matter, and what comes next. The Warriors' flurry of moves isn't just about acquiring new faces, it signals a deeper strategic shift. Instead of leaning on high-profile draft picks or splashy trades, Golden State appears intent on unearthing undervalued talent and maximizing system fit. In a league where cap flexibility and developmental agility are paramount, every Exhibit 10 contract is a low-risk, high-reward bet. Draft night hangover? Not quite. While some fans questioned giving up Kobe Bryant, an elite shooter with lottery pedigree, the trades freed up flexibility. That cap room could pay dividends late in training camp or mid-season, when a veteran signing or two-way conversion might become crucial. Still, at Warriors on X sparked some debate. Trading Bryant was brave. Now let's see if McMillian or Cryer can crack the rotation, typed one fan. Love the hustle. Finding diamonds in the rough is what Golden State does best, replied another. Summer League as a testing ground. All eyes now turn to Las Vegas, where Tui, Richard, McMillian, and Cryer will have their shot. Warriors brass, including GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. and coach Steve Kerr, will be looking for more than just scoring. They'll test decision-making under pressure, off-ball movement and spacing awareness, defensive instincts and effort, chemistry with projected rotation players. A strong showing could fast-track one of these wings to a two-way spot, saving the team from dipping into more expensive mid-season signings. Potential mid-season cap boost. Golden State's strategy also hints at a mid-season plan. If Draft and Develop doesn't produce a cornerstone wing, the saved cap via Exhibit 10 contracts becomes crucial. The plan could include signing a veteran on a minimum deal to plug a bench hole, activating or offering a two-way contract to a standout, retaining the flexibility to trade for impacted depth if injuries strike. That cautious but adaptable approach has paid off before. Think Jordan Poole's rise in 2020, mid-season wing signings, and strategic luxury tax avoidance. The bigger picture, a quiet rebuild or smart supplement. These moves might seem small, but they reflect a philosophy the Warriors cling to: always evolve. With Curry and Thompson still performing at high levels, continuing to inject young talent keeps them sharp, and keeps the roster nimble for future premium moves. Some insiders suggest that before the season starts, Golden State could still target a hefty veteran wing in a trade or free agency, someone who complements the shooting and spacing they're betting on. But that hinges on how summer performance shapes up. Fan expectations and team outlook. In a way, this quiet post-draft shuffle is typical Warriors, always doing, never just talking. For fans, it's a reminder that while headlines focus on superstars, the real engine of a team is filled with under-the-radar plays. If one or more of these undrafted sharpshooters lands a two-way deal or even cracks the 15-man roster, it will validate a deeply held Warriors belief: talent is everywhere, right under our nose. Warriors GM shares Steve Kerr contract update, and it might not be what fans want to hear. Steve Kerr's contract with the Golden State Warriors is set to expire after the 2025-26 season, and so far, there's been no movement on an extension. For fans hoping to see Kerr remain at the helm, that news may be hard to swallow. If Kerr were to step away, it would leave Stephen Curry with just 1 year left on his deal, a scenario that could effectively signal the closing chapter of a dynasty that began in 2015, one that still features Draymond Green as a core piece. Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy recently spoke about this sensitive situation, sharing both his admiration for Kerr and his respect for the coach's autonomy. Dunleavy respects Kerr's timeline, no pressure for extension. Speaking on the TK Show podcast with Tim Kawakami, Dunleavy made it clear, there's no pressure coming from the front office. While he'd love to see Kerr re-sign, he's not pushing the issue. On a personal level, I'd love to have Steve locked in. He's an incredible coach for our team and for the organization, Dunleavy said. But Steve's earned the right to make that decision in his own time. He's done so much, I'm not going to pressure him into anything. The message is clear. Dunleavy trusts Kerr to know when the time is right, whether that's to stay or to step away. You want a coach who, when it's time to move on, does it for the right reasons, for himself and for the franchise, Dunleavy added. A veteran core, and one last run? Despite the uncertainty surrounding Kerr's future, the Warriors are staying committed to their veteran core. Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and now Jimmy Butler continue to lead the charge, as the franchise goes all in on what may be its final championship window. Interestingly, this shift suggests the team may be ready to move on from rising star Jonathan Kuminga, who entered free agency this offseason. The Warriors' recent moves prioritize proven leadership over long-term youth development, a sign that they're focused on winning now, not later. Last season, this veteran-heavy roster proved it could still compete, making a deep playoff run before an injury to Curry dashed their title hopes. With time ticking, The urgency is unmistakable. Could this be the final chapter? The upcoming season might be the last realistic shot at a title for this legendary group. With 4 championships already under Kerr, 2015, 2017, 2018, and 2022, the chase for one final ring feels even more meaningful and emotional. Honestly, I feel like Steve can coach here as long as he wants, Dunleavy concluded. We'll figure out the contract stuff along the way. But as the future hangs in the balance, so does the fate of one of the NBA's greatest dynasties. Whether or not Kerr stays, one thing is clear: the clock is ticking, and this season might be their last dance. Kerr's legacy and the weight of the moment. Steve Kerr's legacy in Golden State is already cemented. He's not just a coach, he's been a culture setter, a leader who turned a good team into a dynasty. With his calm demeanor, innovative strategies, and unwavering belief in unselfish basketball, Kerr helped revolutionize the modern NBA. And now, with his future uncertain, the Warriors face a pivotal moment that goes beyond wins and losses. Players, fans, and analysts alike are beginning to speculate. What does Kerr stepping away mean not just for the team, but for the identity of the franchise? It would be hard to imagine the Warriors without Steve, said one anonymous league executive, according to reports circulating in the media. He's been the heartbeat of their run. If he goes, that might signal a true changing of the guard. Stephen Curry's clock is ticking too. Perhaps the most pressing element of this story is its direct impact on Stephen Curry. The 2-time MVP will enter the final year of his contract if Kerr departs after 2025-26, and while Curry has remained loyal, the shifting ground around him raises questions about what's next. Steph and Steve have a unique bond, said former teammate Andre Iguodala in a recent interview. If Steve walks away, it'll affect how Steph sees the rest of his journey. Would Curry consider retiring, asking for a trade, or extending his career elsewhere to chase another ring? While there's no indication of such intentions now, the uncertainty is beginning to loom over even the most faithful fans. Front office at a crossroads. Mike Dunleavy Jr., now fully in charge after taking over from Bob Myers, finds himself navigating one of the toughest balancing acts in modern sports: honoring the past, managing the present, and preparing for the future. The decision to keep building around veterans like Curry, Green, and now Jimmy Butler shows a win-now mindset, but also a gamble. Butler, while still a top-tier competitor, brings his own health risks and playoff mileage. Meanwhile, letting go of young talent like Jonathan Kuminga, or simply sidelining their development, could hurt the Warriors' long-term flexibility. Critics are already asking, is Golden State mortgaging its future for one last title run? And if that run fails, what's left? A franchise on the edge. With the Western Conference only getting tougher, the rise of young teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, and the ever-competitive Denver Nuggets, the margin for error is razor-thin. The Warriors are not guaranteed another deep playoff run. And if this year doesn't go according to plan, they could be left staring down a full-blown rebuild. In that case, Kerr walking away could be just the beginning. The front office may need to consider reshaping the entire franchise, from coaching to roster, in a post-Kerr, post-Curry world. It's a reality no Warriors fan wants to confront, but one that now feels closer than ever. If the 2025-26 season is truly the swan song for Steve Kerr and this legendary core, it won't just be the end of an era, it could be the closing of one of the most memorable chapters in NBA history.